Welcome to Six Skills with Josh, Kristen, and Lorna.
How would you describe what it's like to live in your body right now?
I'm pretty tired. Feel like everybody's in collective agreement about being tired. If you're not, this is not the podcast for you. I feel like, yeah, my body is like, she's trying to do a bunch of things, but she can't figure it out. And so she just keeps trying. But it's kind of like watching a vehicle that you also run and you know is going to break down repeatedly over and over again. And there's like nothing you can do. So. But you love
Yeah.
the car so much, and you keep taking the car for a drive, and the car is my body, and I'm a car. Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's a train wreck, but at least I have nice shoulders, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep trying to figure out what's going on because there's like something clearly bad happening.
Mm.
I just keep getting worse and worse as the months go on and I can't figure out what it is. So it's a little frustrating to kind of every day just keep having something new pop up that you didn't expect. Or maybe it's not necessarily new, it's just like new to this moment. Like it's I used to experience this stuff in the past and it was kind of dealt with and now it's all kind of flooding back, which is rather unfortunate.
And confusing.
Yeah.
Like, aren't you like, I thought I was done with this?
Yeah, it's like I thought like I had this big treatment that kind of really helped take things like allowed me to do a lot more and now I'm almost back to where I was before that treatment. So it's like sliding back down into the depths, which kind of is a little bit hard to deal with.
I would be so scared
Yeah.
and sad.
Yeah, I feel like that's with chronic illness. Both are bad. Like when you're doing good, you're really scared you're going to lose it all. And when you're doing bad, you're just doing really bad. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm doing a bit better than usual and I have more opportunities and I'm always like a flare away from losing it all, or that's how it feels, even if that's not true.
I found like improving was hard too, though, because I kind of went from being like severe, like never left my bed to like I could just do stuff again. And I was super deconditioned. So it took a while to get going. But like there was this fear of like I had to relearn what my new baseline was or like how far I could push myself. And, you make a lot of mistakes where you do too much and then your body screams at you and you're like, oh, that sucks. So that process of like improving too is almost as scary as getting worse because you have to relearn how to do things all over again.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "You're doing so great. Like, aren't you so excited?" And you feel very complicated about it. It's not a simple feeling.
That's always so lonely because it's like, oh, like, you don't see me at all, like, you don't really know what I've gone through, and people think that they're saying the right things, and they can be, like, horrible, but they don't mean it that way, and so there's this loneliness of, like, lack of connection, going through the experience of, like, your body being fucked up, and also I think, like, not having the security of, like, knowing someone is gonna help you or monitor your health or, like, be there to tell you what the next treatment is, like, that's really scary, like.
I remember when I first started getting better, I was like so excited about it, and my doctors were just kind of like, "That's cool." And I was like, "What? Like, what are we doing? Like, why isn't this a bigger deal?" And so yeah, like you're very much navigating that process like on your own, which can be super frustrating.
So fucking medical ableism.
I have a story from today actually that
Yeah,
I'd like to vent about.
okay.
So I have an extreme scent allergy. Like our house is like scent free to the max. And it's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still pretty bad if I get exposed to scents. And I have to do a Holter monitor test for 48 hours coming up. And the last time I did one, when I got the Holter monitor home, it just really smelled like laundry detergent. Like that's all I could smell on it. Because it's used and somebody else has taken it home. And so I had to call them and be like, hey, I can't use this. And after talking to a few people, they ordered me like a brand new one because they do replace them every so often. So they just ordered me a new one and then put that into circulation. And so this time I tried to explain that to the lady and she was so annoyed. She was just like, yeah, okay, I guess we'll have to order you one. And I was like, sorry for having a medical condition. Like, it's like, I don't know. It's just, it's really frustrating when you have to deal with that kind of stuff.
I know this doesn't matter and this isn't the point, but like psychosomatic, it should also be treated as real. Like, I don't know, I know that, like, that's a mental health issue and, like, I've had plenty of those, but, like, fucking what is it gonna like, what does it take for them to just be like, "Oh, Josh, yeah, let me order you a new one," or like, "I understand and we fucked up and we have to send you a different one." Like, it's not hard to just believe people. I
And
don't understand.
it's not their money, like, it's not like they're
Yeah,
paying for it out of pocket, like, it is
yeah.
I don't know. I think,
That
though,
makes
like,
it
that's a good
worse.
point about the psychosomatic side of things because, living with disability, living with chronic illness is a traumatic experience. I have PTSD from scents, like, I'm terrified of them, and as soon as I smell them, my anxiety goes through the roof, and I probably have an oversized reaction to them because I'm afraid of what's coming, and there's always, like, a bit of a delayed reaction to the crash because that's just part of my illness. And so, like, I know that that crash is coming and it's terrifying. And as soon as that scent hits my nose, I just know that that's, in the pipeline now. And so it's hard not to like have this, fear take over your body as you're trying to, deal with the oncoming symptoms.
And the ableism that might or may not get in the way of you accessing something where, like, you have to not deal with the scent anymore. I hate that.
I think that anticipation of a crash is massive. I remember I was at a Value Village with my cousin and her 2 kids, and her son used to have, like, chronic strep throat. This kid, this, like, 6-year-old kid knew he was about to get strep again for, like, the 8th time in the last 6 months or something, and he was just devastated, and I saw myself in him, like, he was up against the wall in the Value Village. He probably didn't feel that bad, but emotionally, he was just, like, destroyed, and it's that fear, like, if I go and have fun all night long, which is something that even as at my age I still like to do occasionally, the whole night I'm like, I'm gonna really pay for this for days and days and days. And, I wish I could just freely experience all the things that I do, but it's always a mathematical equation. It's always a planning. How's this gonna make me feel? How's everything gonna stack up? Do I have a day before? Do I have a day after to recover? And when things don't go to plan, I worry a lot too, because oh dear, I didn't plan for this. So
And it's not even like an individual problem, like the way people's lives are set up these days, you have to plan for your health crises and you have to plan to be as communicative as possible and you have to plan to like advocate for yourself and get your needs met. And all of that is on top of the actual health problem. Like, there's no room for like, what if there's no room for uncertainty, but then, like, uncertainty is major like, mostly what causes all the anxiety you guys are discussing, aside like, as it relates to the PTSD.
We went to the festival in town, the Festival Theater, the Stratford Festival, on the weekend to see The Hobbit. And we've lived in Stratford now for just over 5 years. And it's the first time I've gone to the festival because it was like I've just been too sick and haven't been able to go. And I don't think I enjoyed myself because I was so stressed about the experience. Like it took so much effort just to get there. And like I had to carefully plan the timing of like when I would get ready and like how early I would get ready and what clothes I would wear and like I just the mental load of going to the event was exhausting and like it was really nice to like spend the time with my wife and daughter and like go see this play and it was really cool to see like the caliber of the set and the design that went into the lighting and stuff was really amazing but I struggled so much with the experience because I was so in my own head just thinking about like what was going wrong and then, you know, all my symptoms started flaring up as we sat there and like yeah, and it's so hard to just enjoy the moment when you're dealing with the illness, but then you're managing the illness at the same time, which is a lot to deal with.
also just sitting in a dark theater, I do it all the time, and it's the worst thing for chronic pain
Yeah.
because you just can feel absolutely everything. You can't really leave. You can't like accommodate yourself.
Sitting still, I
Oh,
find is
sitting
so
still.
hard. Like it
Terrible.
like when intermission came and I could move around a little bit and kind of like stretch, like that made a huge difference, but just sitting there was like killing my back and neck and everything else.
It hurts so much sitting still. And also, like, theater is not very distracting, honestly. Like, even a
Yeah.
really good show is gonna it's not like TV or something.
Yeah. Was there a moment when you realized your body was going to be something you had to negotiate rather than just live in? I mean, that's kind of what we were talking about. So, is that something like, did you have like an aha moment, or is it just something that you've kind of always dealt with?
Okay, well, I think that I've always dealt with it. I've always known that it's something to be negotiated, and, like, I've actually had the reverse experience of, like, as I got older, I became aware that, like, I had options, like, I didn't have to do everything the way everyone wanted all the time. As someone that's, like, severely physically disabled, I'm used to just revolving around other people's emotional wants and needs and their physical wants and needs and their physical ability to help me. And so, like, when I was in my 20s, I went through this whole long process, which is still going on, where, like, figuring out what I want and what I need and how those things are made possible. And, like, it has created, like, a lot of angry ambition in me where I'm like, "Oh, yeah? Fuck you all. I'm gonna shit my pants and still do this thing." Like, and I think that's a good thing, but I'm sad that I don't think every person that's born with a disability gets to that place or necessarily gets to have that experience of, like, differentiating or individuating from parents, caregivers, because, like, a lot of us are taught to just be grateful and rely on whatever's given to us and be happy about it. So, yeah, I had the reverse experience, which is fine.
I think that attitude is like, it's helped me, like your attitude to your own disability. Like, I remember we had a conversation a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about my accessibility permit, and you were just like, just fucking use it. And like, it did something to my brain where I was like before, like questioning it all the time and feeling bad, and then all of a sudden I was like, fuck it, no, like I need that. Like, like it's the difference between being completely exhausted when I get home and just being a little bit exhausted when I get home. And so, yeah, I think sometimes you have to take control, and you have to, drive the ship and just be like, get out of my way. Like, I need this. Like, this is my life. Like, I have to get through things, and you have to stop apologizing for needing help sometimes.
Yeah, also, like, those ideas that we get of, like, this maybe I don't really need this, or maybe I can actually do this by myself, like, fuck it, all of that's ableism. Every single ounce of that is ableism. So, like, the reverse effect for like, the reverse idea that I had was, like, what if I need help? What if I plan for this as if I need help? What option does that give me? And, like, that's fine. Like, I love needing help. People actually mostly, with the exception of a few horrible attendants, most people love helping me. They're like, "Oh, can I, like, also, like, brush your hair?" And I'm like, "No, I just want you to, like, give me food." Like, "What?" So, like, most people love helping, and it's such a skill to learn to ask for help, and, like, I don't I'm still learning it. It takes forever. I'm 38, so
It's also a skill that is not valued. So it's like a very, very strong skill and very important and improves kind of all relationships because the key to intimacy is kind of needing one another. Like that's what creates moments of intimacy. So I definitely know like I was determined to not need help unconsciously for the longest time with my illness. And I thought the solution was just hiding because I could. No one could see my disability. So I just pretended I was fine, which obviously doesn't work. And then I crashed so hard that I had to be isolated for so long. And then I think I realized like the goal can't be reduction of pain all the time. If my goal is reduction of pain all the time, my world will be so tiny and like I won't have any friends and I'll never do the things I like and I won't go out. And so now navigating that has been really difficult because the pain is higher. So psychologically, it's tough. But then I get all of these things that satisfy like my soul regardless of my body and like dancing and going out and being social. Like all those things aren't really compatible with my pain. So that's the place I'm at now. It's really interesting and harder to navigate because I'm having to break a lot of rules that I made for myself and tell myself it's okay.
that's really interesting. Are you doing it like do you just picture it like, I'm doing this as a person with high pain? I'm doing
Yeah.
this as a person with
Yeah.
high pain.
This is gonna suck. This is gonna make me hurt. This is, you know, this is like being in going to Guatemala and like walking. a lot every day. I love walking. I love it, but it kills. It hurts me so much. And it was just like I'm having the best time, but I'm in high pain and like both can coexist. Obviously not if it's like very dangerous. Like there's all these assessments around that also and it's totally personal, but that shift of like the through therapy of like the goal is not to reduce pain at all times. Because if that's my goal, then I have no life. And I don't want that. Like I don't not that it's a choice, but like and by having no life I mean like I was making it smaller than it needed to be. I was isolating myself. I wasn't asking for help like you said, Kristen. Wasn't asking for any help. And I think what helped me is disability community is like being around people who are asking for help all the time and don't feel have a totally different relationship to it than like the ableist people in my life. So like maybe I can do it with these accommodations that before I didn't let myself have or
Yeah, everyone to get a roll later.
yeah, like yeah, rollator or bringing my cane to get my passport replaced.
Yeah.
Oh, and like being like and cutting the line, getting wheelchair service when I went to Guatemala that made a huge difference. I didn't walk in the airport at all. And that meant I could walk when I was there. And it's like it's almost like what's that saying when people are when they're like not risk adverse. It's not it's like damage control.
Harm reduction?
Harm reduction. It's harm reduction. Like taking the wheelchair in the airport so you can walk around in Guatemala is harm reduction. You're like micro dosing walking. I am.
I found early on like the spoon theory to be like very helpful where you're like, it's like, okay, if I can ride in a wheelchair for the first 20 minutes, then that's 2 spoons I don't have to spend on walking. And so then I'll have 2 more spoons for later on. I think the unfortunate part of my illness is that like it got to the point where like I had like 1 spoon. And so it didn't matter how well I managed the situation. I just couldn't do the stuff. Like
You're like,
You had
spoon
one
theory
greasy
doesn't
spoon.
apply. Yeah. You're like this.
singular
It's like
spoon
a
theory.
it's like a teaspoon. You're like, what is
But
this?
it's
What
a
is
very
this shit?
greasy spoon.
Oh,
I had like at my worst, if I laughed too hard, I could crash. It was terrifying.
I had that too.
And like there's like a level of severe beyond. So I was like severe, and then there's very severe, and then there's 5 levels of very severe. And the levels above that, above where I was, are like lying in the dark for 24/7 with headphones on, goggles on, like blackout goggles on, and like not talking to anyone all day long. And like that's terrifying to be that level of sick. And I wasn't that far away at some points. And so, like, for me, like that, the fear of that was enough to be like, okay, I'm not pushing myself to do anything. Like, I have to just, like, you know, not make myself worse. That's the goal right now, is just to not, as much as it sucks to be where I am, I can still have a conversation with my wife occasionally. I can still watch YouTube videos. I can still like be entertained. Whereas like that level of sick was just like utterly terrifying. And I had to do everything I could to avoid kind of getting to that level.
I have a question about that
Mhm.
that I want to talk about because basically like I pushed myself so far that I had extreme vertigo and I had to be in a dark room for an entire year. That kind of thing. Not as bad as headphones, not talking to anyone, but pretty bad. But then the fear of that coming back was so bad that I stayed in that place way longer than I had to. And I think that's such a fascinating part of it is the fear of making things worse, the fear of going back there to that place. Like I'm so afraid of that place.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's terrifying. Like, and like I'm experiencing that right now. Like I've been on this 6-month slide back down to where I was, and it's not quite as bad because the treatment that I got is still preventing crashes. I get like all the other symptoms of a crash, but I don't get that, like, I'm out of it for 2, 3 days and all I do is lay in bed and sleep for 2 days. I don't get that, but I get like all the body pain and the flu-like symptoms and the headaches and all that stuff. But it's not as bad as it was. But it's just this terrifying, my world is shrinking again. Like I joke around and say it felt like I died for 5 years, but nobody told my body. Like I just like I lost all my social interactions. I didn't get to participate in things. And then when I had this treatment, I got to rejoin the world again. And I got to and it was hard and my body hurt all the time and I was exhausted and out of breath and all that stuff. But at least I was out in the world. At least I didn't miss out on, my daughter's school recital, or I didn't miss out on important holidays. But yeah, that kind of fear of slipping back into that, to your worst parts, it's real and scary for sure. How do you feel about holidays? I have some specific thoughts, but I'm curious how you guys feel about them.
I every year for me is completely different. And it's usually I'm the life of the party or I'm in my aunt's bed the whole time. So it's like, and people are feeling quite resentful that I'm not helping out. Like, yeah. So it's like either or. What about you, Kristen, even from like childhood?
Well, I didn't have a wheelchair when I was growing up for a while. I needed a wheelchair, but my parents were just like, nah. And so I hopped around for like quite a long time. And I felt really included because my cousins and my classmates, they just hopped around with me. Like kids are fucking amazing. And so like I thought it was great. And then when I was 9, I think I had hip surgery to make it so that I couldn't hop like that anymore and that I actually would need a wheelchair. And so then it became like really evident to me that like nothing about any gatherings is accessible. They're always just like lifting me around and putting me on couches. Like a lot of times my parents would like try to leave my wheelchair in the car and just like, you don't need that, do you? And like, I do. I did. I simultaneously, like, felt really included in my family because also my family is evangelical Christian. So we were all, like, really tight-knit and just, like I don't know how you guys feel about religion, but I think it can be agreed upon perhaps that, like, sometimes it brings people super close together, and that's what it did for my family and my cousins and my aunts and uncles, and, like, it was really amazing. But none of it really included my disability very much. Nobody had accessible houses, ramps, nah. They just were like, she's small, we're just gonna carry her around forever. And now I'm 38. So, just kidding. So I sometimes go back. I mean, I am 38, that's not the joke, but I sometimes do go back and hang out with I did go back recently to hang out with my family. And it was nice, but it was only nice because I booked an accessible hotel and I booked personal care, and that was a shit show, but, like and it cost me a lot of money, but it made it so that I was able to feel included in my family again. So, basically, the way to be included in my family is to meet all my needs outside of them, and it worked, like, they do love me. They just don't know how to love me as a disabled person, and I'm sure it would break their fucking hearts to hear that, so but it's the way it
It's
is.
the truth.
Yeah.
I struggle with holidays because I find my health is so unpredictable. Like if I can listen to my body and let my body do whatever it wants to do, I find I can have a couple of good days a week where I could do stuff. But it's when I have to get up at a certain time or be somewhere at a certain time or force my body to do it takes me 2 hours to wake up in the morning, like minimum. And that's not even eating breakfast or getting ready. That's just waking up and allowing my body to kind of neutralize itself before. Like if I get out of bed, my POTS just goes my heart rate's all over the place and it's a bad day. And so it's super hard to manage that because sometimes I have to take a random nap because I got a symptom flare and I have to sleep through it. And then now I'm awake at 3 in the morning. And so I always find holidays it's not that I don't want to be a part of them. I just find them stressful because you're now on a clock. Like you now have a schedule, and that just doesn't always work for me.
I find the same thing. If I can create my own schedule, then I'm fine. But anything can mess with that balance. Like, oh, I've taken on one little extra job and it just rocked absolutely everything. So then there's that time that I had in between all the things. That's what you lose when you add something else. And also people don't really understand that I'm getting a bit better, but mostly I still need a day before a big thing and a day after a big thing. So people don't understand that I actually need to book off 3 days to do a big thing. And so if I do too many of those and then I'm still anyway, it's just a very delicate balance. And there's so many things that have to be considered and remembering to bring like all my meds. But maybe this is changing the subject, but that's something that I get scared about, and I don't know whether you relate to this, but is like, what if all my treatments stop working? Like these medical treatments that I've worked so hard, that I've advocated so hard to have access to, that I've paid so much money for, just like stop working. And I know that medications can just stop working, or treatments.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that's the big treatment that I had. It doesn't cure anything. It doesn't fix anything. It just masks things. Basically, it's a nerve block that shuts off the sympathetic nervous system from firing all the time. So that's why I don't have the crashes anymore, because my body's not like freaking out and then shutting down. But the underlying problem is still there. And so the underlying problem just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And that's why I'm like on this downward trajectory. And it sucks because it's still kind of working, but I've just lost everything that I gained when I started taking it. So
okay, we need to bring back fainting couches for family gatherings.
Yes. I basically have one of those. I have one of those at all my family's home.
You do?
Yeah, because I've been sick so long that it's like, they know to be like, you can go up and be in my bedroom, or you can lie on the couch, or you can, they don't say it much anymore. I wish they understood that I'm still so sick, but
my
man.
parents are separated. I haven't been to either of their house since before the pandemic,
Wow, because of accessibility?
just because I've been too sick. Yeah.
Okay, because you've been too sick, yeah. It's not feasible. No, living in other people's houses when you're not well.
I
Yeah.
I can't even remember the last time I was in somebody else's house.
Really? Kristen relates to that. Kristen
I really
relates to
relate to
that
that.
because it's not accessible.
We have
Oh,
a
you
public-
guys don't get to go to people's houses. That's so sad.
we have me and my friend have this thing from our 20s that we used to just sleep with guys to get into their houses. I just wanted to like see the inside of as many apartments as I could. Like there's this one guy that had like Christmas lights lined all around his apartment, and it was like July. And I was like, what a hipster. Like, but I don't regret it. Like I was like, yeah, bring me in your apartment, let me see. My wheelchair could have been like stolen, but I was like,
Wait, did
who
he
cares?
carry you into the apartment?
Yeah. What? I was just gonna say that my dad bought a 2-story house when I was 25.
That is so wild.
He's outrageous. I was like, see you never.
Yeah.
Bye.
I guess we won't hang out, Dad.
Yeah, this is pretty clear. Thanks.
Well,
my
that's we always have to have them over to our house for like holidays, because then I can take breaks and come up to my room and just shut my door and just kind of
Yes.
have a break. But it's just, yeah, I like, honestly, aside from like maybe stepping into like the front entrance way of like my daughter's friend's house when I go to pick her up or something for 30 seconds, I honestly can't remember the last person's house that I was in. It's public buildings are my house, and that's it. And one year I was in 3 buildings, not including my house. 3
Wow.
total for the entire year.
No.
Yep.
This
It
is
was
not
It
acceptable.
was the eye doctor and then 2 doctor's offices, and that's it.
Josh, I don't want you to feel sad about your life more than is necessary. But like, what if you started a house tally? And you
Yeah.
were like,
Yeah.
today I went in the door entrance of such and such.
But-
I thought the floors were nice. Goodbye.
Honestly, it's that laundry scent smell. Like it just like I can't, like,
Can't do
even,
it.
you know, if my daughter goes on a sleepover, she has to change her clothes when she gets home, because it's just like it gets in
It's in
the
the
air, and
air.
it's so it's not as bad as it was. Like it was bad before, but it's still enough to like I get a migraine and I'll feel nauseous from it. Like it's
Okay, never mind then.
yeah.
We have to find a new idea.
Okay. Do you know what's so annoying though? Because I have a scent sensitivity, not that strong, but it comes and goes depending how my health is. But at my No Frills, they moved the health food section, which I frequent like regularly, to right parallel to all the cleaning products. So it's like cleaning products, health food like area. So I just can't go down there. Or sometimes I cave and I go down there and I feel nauseous and like have a headache for real long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, it's like if I need something down like the pet food aisle and it's got laundry detergent on the other side. I have to like hold my breath and like run,
Yes.
try to run down there.
Or has anyone ever kindly done your laundry for you and not like my mom has done my laundry with the smelliest and then I have to be like I can't even use this and then I get frustrated and upset and then she's offended because she's done this nice thing for me. That's a
Here,
whole thing. Oh yeah.
this is the craziest part of that. Our dryer caught on fire last year.
No.
So we had to get a new one and we couldn't afford a new one. So we went and got a used one
Oh, no.
and it smelled and we had it like, I was panicking so bad because I'm like, what am I going to do? Like the scent is like baked into the machine. And so we just like washed, like dried like wet towels over and over and over again just to try to like
Whoa.
and we cleaned, like we took the back off and cleaned out all the like insides to get all the like lint out of there. And like it still has like a very, very faint scent to it. It'll
Ooh.
dissipate if you like just like if I just leave the clothes for like a half an hour or something, but it's there if I open the door.
Josh, do you have a sound sensitivity? Because I was once staying in a place and the traffic was so intense that it hurt me physically and I couldn't
Mhm.
stop crying. I could not stop crying.
Yeah, I get overwhelmed very, very quickly with sound. And then at my like if I'm in a crash, like I can't have sound. Fans,
Fans!
I
I
can't
fucking
I
hate
can't
fans.
can't deal with them. And my wife loves them. So I'm just like that's why like my doors often close and I'm just in my bedroom alone because I just need to be in my like sound cocoon.
You're the first person I've ever met who also doesn't like fan sounds.
Yeah. I used to. Like I used to like
Right.
it was great to sleep with, but now it like it like drives me nuts to my core. Like I yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's like nails on a chalkboard. And I
Mhm.
have to have the air conditioning on right now because it's so hot. But it's just like makes me feel messed up.
I don't know why this is a weird one I just thought of, but my body can't regulate its temperature very well. And
Mhm.
so I went swimming for the first time last summer in like 5 years. And you know how when you jump in and it's cold and then like your body like adjusts? My body just didn't adjust.
Oh
Like
my God.
I just was cold the whole time and it never like no and it wasn't that cold and it just never like regulated and I was like yeah that's one of my symptoms like it's and it was such a weird feeling and I was like that sucked but yeah.
I have that too where, like, I can just stay cold for a long period of time, and I have you ever tried swimming while you're shivering? It's really hard to do, like, I'm, like, waiting to warm up, but, like, my muscles are so stiff from the shivering, and it's like, "I'm doing a lot of exercise. Why is none of this working? What the fuck?" But,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's weird, that sucks. I know that. Yeah, that's the only time I've been swimming, so yeah, it's
Yeah.
No
crazy.
swimming in 5 years. And do you like swimming? Is that a grief thing that you've lost that?
Totally, yeah, I loved, like, being in water was such a peaceful kind of experience, but I'm super sensitive to the sun now too.
Mm.
The sun feels like poison if I'm out in the sun. Like, it literally feels like it's just burning my skin,
Oh my gosh, that's so
even if I'm
unfair.
wearing, like, sunscreen, like, it's just, like it's like I'm allergic to the sun. I think that's, like, the most frustrating thing about my illness is, like, it has one of the lowest quality of life indexes of, like, all the major illnesses.
Really?
Um, yeah, I found a study and I've used it for like insurance, like fighting with insurance before, because they were like, you don't have one of the approved things. And I'm like, well, fuck you. Here's like a study that says that my illness is worse than all of those illnesses. And like worse is like an object, like hard
Yeah,
thing to
yeah.
quantify, but and it's not as deadly as some of those illnesses, but like the quality of life is just like so shitty because there's just you're like allergic to the world and you're allergic to exertion. Like talking used to be I couldn't have done this podcast like a year ago. Like,
Talking is a huge one.
yeah, I get really tired and I get sweaty. Like it's this weird like ugh.
I used to have to dole out my talking time. And Kristen,
Mhm.
you know I love to talk. So that was pretty devastating that I had to like and I was working with a Chinese doctor at the time and she was like talking is the most exhausting thing you can do. Like you need to stop talking.
It's like, I
And every
wouldn't
time I
know
saw
what
her
to
I'd be like
do.
I'm so sorry I've been talking a lot. She's like you need to. And she
No.
also was teaching me I've totally neglected it now, but because I was raised by 2 actors, I was taught to project from like when I was a baby, and I just can't scale it back to the point where having friends in the disability community, there have been times where they're like, Lorna, I just am really sensitive to sound. Like, you need to be quiet. I'm like, I know, I'm so sorry. But yeah, so the force with which I talk is like terrible for my spoons because I
Mhm.
just use up the spoons so fast.
Do you
So
find
yeah.
different people take up different amounts of energy? Like,
Yes.
so like
I let go of so many friends for that
yeah,
reason.
I can talk to my wife all day long, right? Like even at my worst, like maybe not all day long, but like I could talk to her for a while. But like calling customer service, like 5 minutes max, and like I'm done. Because you're just I don't know. There's something about like you're putting on a face, like you're not even that's not even a disability thing. It's just like a
Yeah, it is. You're masking. You're
yeah.
masking. Yeah.
I found too, like, it I was noticing the people who talked and talked and talked and never asked me any questions, and I actually was too sick to be their friend. Like, it was like they did not qualify for friendship because I was too sick.
Oh, did you lose a bunch of male friends, Lorna?
I just lost so many friends in general because I couldn't show up for them in the way that I
Yeah.
had been doing, with so much energy. Well, I think I have to go soon, guys, even though I could literally talk forever.
No, this has been good.
Got my Amazon packages from my boss's house.
Your life sucks.